ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Cat Talk here on GreenCountyHeraldOnline.com. I'm Russell Turner. This is my good friend Nick Chatham, the AD and head baseball coach here at Greene County High School. And Nick, we're in week 2, officially, I guess, of the high school athletic season. The girls are hard at it playing. They've had a couple of great games here lately, and we've got a football scrimmage underway. But main thing is this Friday night we get to start the actual season.
That's right. Yeah, we get to open up with Vancleave, another 4A high school. You know, we played Columbia, the defending state champion, this past Friday night, and that was a good test. And I think Vancleave is going to be a good test as well.
Well, Nick, I hate to even bring this up. I've never been one to talk about really liking turf, but I have to say Columbia, they kind of did it right when they did it. But yeah, a lot of things going on out here. We were just talking to Mr. Dixon. The girls volleyball team had a great match last night. Lost in, what was it, five sets? 5 sets. So they've played a lot of really close games here lately, and I think they're really trying to figure it out as they get into region play next week. But like I say, the big thing on everybody's mind, I think, right now is getting football season underway. We're going to have Coach King on here in a few minutes to talk about the Jamboree and talk about the upcoming Vancleave game. Anything else going on?
No, just as we always talk about, just exciting on campus right now with all the sports going on, and looking forward to football getting cranked up Friday night, and the band's working hard as well. And
you know, and I missed that. We talked about that the other week about coming out on Friday, and I missed Friday and missed having a chance to do that. Once again, that's a cool thing.
Yep.
So, but looking forward to it this Friday night at Vancleave, and then go the next week. We go to George County before we finally get a home game.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
Once again, a lot going on and plenty to talk about. So unless you have anything else, we'll take a quick break, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Have Coach King on.
Right.
Here's a scenario. Work has sent you cross-country. You drive 2,000 miles, eat something that resembles food, and seal the deal with a room full of strangers. Now you have a big old check, which means you hold in your hands the future of your company. But wait, you have the Singing River Federal app, which means you and thousands of others like you can bank wherever you are. So no more worries, except for whatever you ate. Singing River Federal, the better way to bank, wherever you are.
All right, welcome back to Cat Talk. As we promised you last week, we've got Coach Mikey King on here today, our head football coach here at Greene County High School in year 2 of his return to Greene County. And Coach, I know that you've made some changes in the program, and it's been a building process. So kind of talk to us a little bit about what's gone into these last year and a half, getting things back to where it needs to be.
Yeah, a lot of the obstacles we faced with being out of school last year, a couple of weeks at the start of the season, and some of the bad habits that I think that our athletes in general have just kind of adopted as far as consistency, being at school every day, being at practice and stuff. So in a lot of ways, we basically had to start over and just kind of from the ground up and kind of rebuild because of those things that were basically beyond our control. But it is what it is.
Right. Yep.
Well, I have to say, you know, I had told you, I had kind of confession here. I told you I kind of questioned the white hats, but I'm a fan now. They don't really. No. Call them what you want to, Nick. But the helmets and the uniform combination looked really good the other night. I have to say that. So
yeah, we were looking for something to give our kids a little bit of a spark, and sometimes as old folks, we don't really think a whole lot about that, but our kids do. It's important to them, and I feel like that would have been something that we needed, a little bit of a change that way to give us a little bit of spark, a little bit of energy, excitement. You know.
I've seen one thing that I really like. I've seen you promoting the program more, it seems, on social media, and I love the reveal of the helmets that you put on there, where you had the kids try them on and posted them, and so things like that are bringing energy back into the program, and I think you've done a great job of that. And I love the Student of the Week that y'all are doing. I didn't think of that myself.
Who was your first Student of the Week?
Jace Matthews was. We send that around forms to the teachers, and of course, for the most part, they do everything we ask them on the football field. But we want to make sure that our kids are more well-rounded and they're handling their business in the classroom, things like that. And the main thing is just open up a line of communication with the teachers and get that feedback from them so they can let us know who needs to be recognized in that way, because I want them to know that matters as well.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and you certainly know this from having coached and played, collegiate football. It's you've got to have your thinking hat on to play football these days. The stereotypical,
dumb brute that plays football, that guy's not successful anymore. And so, all of that stuff in the classroom applies to the locker room and to the field as well, I think. So, having kids that know a little bit about learning it's got to be a good thing.
Absolutely.
So, well, let's talk about football games. So y'all played your scrimmage or your jamboree on Friday night at Columbia, and you and I have talked about it. There were a lot of positives and a few things you got to work on. What's your general analysis of that first game?
I think the biggest thing we came away with was the procedural things, to where we're real cognizant this week of trying to make sure our special teams are on and off the field. And, we work a lot of guys in those positions. So when you work a kickoff team and you've got more than just 11 that go out there, then sometimes when the first time you do it in that dress rehearsal, it's, Coach, am I going, or is the guy, is the other guy going? So I want to clean that up this week to make sure that when we call, punt team, that we got the right 11 guys out there and they're on and off the field, because there's no do-overs when it counts, and the procedure penalties and stuff like that, those can be hard to explain away when you get hit with a few of those. So I wanted to fix that for
You
sure.
don't have to burn a timeout to get the right personnel on the field.
Absolutely.
Special team.
Absolutely. That'll get you fired. So.
Well, we were talking on the sideline the other day, or during the game, and I actually made that comment a couple of times, that if you're going to see those issues, that jamboree is exactly when you want to see it, because it's such a, you want to perform well, you want to play well, but you also, as a coach, I think, like those coachable moments that come out of those types of games, and you'd much rather find that out last week against Columbia in a jamboree than even this week in Vancleave.
Absolutely, and it was a little bit of a chaotic kind of environment because, we moved the game up to 4:30 because of the weather coming in. So we got off the bus, we got dressed, we went straight to the field. So we had an abbreviated type warm-up that was not – it was pretty much atypical of what we like to do. So, it wasn't ideal in the leading up to the game either.
Right.
And so you can look at that two ways. You can be upset about it, annoyed and aggravated, and or you can look at it as an opportunity to put your guys in a pressure situation and kind of see how they respond. And if they don't respond accordingly, you address it at practice the following week. So
I know y'all have got some inexperience on the field this year, some young guys that you're hoping to step up. But talk to us a little bit about the veterans that you have.
Yeah, we got 6 seniors on the team this year, and 2 of our offensive linemen that are team captain type guys, Trey Snell, Bubba Rester. They do a terrific job of leading everybody, and they were the 2 most vocal guys after the game, talking about, all right, guys, we need to be back Monday, ready to work, ready to go. So that's offensively, but defensively, Luke Barfield is a staple as far as his consistency. I don't know if I've had any more kids more consistent than he is, as far as showing up every day with the right attitude, giving phenomenal effort. No matter what we're doing, no matter what the drill is, he goes full speed. And, it's funny, we were talking about getting in shape, and he didn't have any problems the other night because of the way he practices. Whether we're conditioning or not conditioning, if you practice the way you're supposed to practice, not saving yourself, going full speed, you'll get in game shape. And Luke is a perfect example of how that plays out.
I don't know if it really hit me till just then how inexperienced we are in some spots. When you say we only got 6 seniors, that could be the lowest senior count in the state of 4A probably. I mean, that's not a lot of seniors on a football team. So, which is going to pay off in the long run, of course, because you've got those guys getting that experience.
Right. Well, offense. Well, let's talk about defense first. You mentioned it. There were some issues. We talked the other day about, some tackling issues, but there were also some really good bright spots. There was a situation where we got into a little bit of a goal line situation, and I thought they performed really well. Now, they ended up scoring, but there were a lot of good bright spots in there. And then there was also some good plays in the secondary, I thought, even though we didn't necessarily tackle well, we made good plays on the ball. Is that kind of the way you saw it?
I thought so, too. I thought we had some really bright spots on the defensive side of the football. And, with Columbia being the defending state champions, we knew what we were getting into. We knew it wouldn't be easy. So if we could just replicate the consistency that we had in those, in spurts, I think we'll be fine. But we do have a lot of sophomores on the field. We got, Jaron Brown, the middle linebacker, Landon Green, another sophomore at linebacker. So we're really young there. You'll even notice some freshmen in the secondary, that we're playing. Lakeis Franks, Braden and Bryson Spivey will play some in the secondary as freshmen. So, the old saying, for every freshman you got on the field, that's typically a loss. Hopefully that's not the case, but we know that there are some growing pains associated with it. And the thing is, it's not though that we're playing freshmen that can't play. They can play.
Oh, no, you're right.
They can play. They're just not physically mature. When you look at an 18-year-old senior out there, that's body just looks different because he's had that 4 years to grow and develop in the weight room. We don't have some of that yet, but we will have that if these guys stay healthy and stay consistent and buy in.
As far as the defensive side of the ball goes, adding Coach Caleb Prentice, talk to us about what an addition he's been. 3D coordinators in 3 years and having somebody with that's going to be consistent.
Yeah, when Coach Prentice came in, he wasn't in any, mindset to try to cut anybody any slack. And because of that, some kids started to think, man, maybe I'm going to take an easy way out, or I'm not going to, we lost some guys. And, Coach came to me and he said, hey, I said, no, you keep your foot on the pedal. You do what you're doing. That's exactly what we're looking for. So he's challenged our guys. He's brought a level of intensity every day to practice, and we love that. But he also requires those guys to behave above reproach, and he corrects them when they're not doing what they're supposed to. And sometimes defensive guys have a hard time with that. They think to be hard-nosed, you've got to be a little bit, I guess, rougher around the edges and allow for certain things. They end up costing you in ball games, penalties, and things like that. But Coach Prentice brings the right balance of making them do right, but also making them gritty, tough kids without crossing that line. And that's what we're looking for on defense. He does a great job with that.
And he's a relationship builder, too. I mean, he has great rapport with kids.
100%. That's the best thing that probably he's brought to the table. I'm glad you said that, is he has a way of relating to the kids in Greene County. Caleb grew up here.
Right.
He knows what these kids are interested in. He's a lot of the same hunting and fishing hobbies and things. He's able to relate with them there, and then and being a minister in the community as well. So that also helps too, which is huge.
Well, there were some pretty nice plays, but made by some freshmen the other night in the secondary. Several of them that I saw pass breakups and things like that, and they're only going to get better as time goes. Now on the offensive side, I think we saw some explosive plays that were there. We missed a couple of them. We missed a deep throw that was open, and then we had the timeout that was a sure touchdown.
Right.
So there were some things on there. But one of the things I noticed, Nate, you pick on Kobe, your son, but sitting out there at quarterback, he's a lot physically stronger than I had kind of expected him to be. Because early in the game, there was a situation where he had to scramble. And he looked the part, and so that was a pleasant surprise for me. I knew he could get the job done, but it was nice to know that physical capability was there as well.
That's been the biggest question mark with him going into this season as a sophomore, is would he be physically able to take the beating of a Friday night and getting dumped on your head and harassed by defensive linemen that outweigh you by 100 pounds. But with the off-season program, he was able to, from November to May, be in the weight room and probably added 15 pounds or so. And he's probably got a little bit more room to add some more weight. So I was really pleased with the way he was able to escape and stay on his feet a couple times instead of getting him down. That was exciting to watch.
KJ had the one big touchdown, and it was, I've seen the video, it was very nice run, and he has that knack for exploding through openings. But what about your other skill guys? What did you see that you liked and that you didn't like?
I thought Keenan was able to carry the football really hard between the tackles. I felt like the defense that we saw was more of a penetrating defense instead of a reading defense. So they got some penetration. He was unfortunately having to make people miss in the backfield a couple times. But, I think that defense like that is kind of what people are playing. So it's going to help us for down the road. So he ran hard, even having to BYOB a couple times, be your own blocker and break those tackles in the backfield. So I was excited about that. BJ Johnson, he's another one of our big playmakers. Wasn't able to get loose too much. The one screen that we had dialed up, they called the timeout. It parted like the Red Sea. And then the pump and go, the play that you referenced earlier, the coverage was so soft because they respect him, but he comes off the ball. We kind of run a stutter route and go, and he runs great routes. He was wide open, and we had to climb the pocket a little bit because of some pressure and overthrew him by a couple feet. But I think we make that play.
Once again, though, you get to experience that in the jamboree, and that helps you down the road. I think that's something that Kobe's going to adapt to and know how to make that little adjustment, because just a small adjustment, and that's 6 points. You might have 6 points on the first play of the game if KJ's feet don't go out from under him on the turf. So once again, a lot of positives. We could dwell on it all day long. It really doesn't matter at the end of the day. This Friday matters, but really and truly, it only matters because it's preparing you for 3 or 4 weeks down the road. So
Right.
talk about, if you will, real quickly, the schedule moving forward, and then we'll let you go.
You know, around here, it's been kind of a traditional thing to play up. You know, we play the 5A schools and the 6A schools. A lot of the smaller schools either won't play us or tell you they don't really have anything to gain by coming to play us. And also, every dime that we get comes through that gate. So the notion is if we play bigger schools and they travel better, that we can make money off of those gates. So we'll have a 5A Vancleave team, a 5A George County team, a 6A Hancock, and a 6A St. Martin. So hopefully that will prepare us for our division. Now, the scary part is making sure that we don't get discouraged. You know, if things don't go our way, especially with young kids, if you got a group of veteran kids and you take some lumps, they're more easily able to bounce back, I think. But a sophomore who's still trying to find his legs and trying to figure out, where he fits, we've got to make sure we're cultivating a positive mindset with those guys, and we're building them up if we do get knocked down.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the plan moving forward, to keep them positive. And when we get to the division, that method has always seemed to pay off. You don't like being 2-4, or 1-3 or 1-4 coming out of non-division, but we've done that before and gone on and had a lot of success in the playoffs and division.
Just so everybody understands, I know Mike well enough to know he does not plan on being 1-3 or anything like that
Right.
in a couple of weeks. But you're right. At the end of the day, what matters is the reach and play.
Right.
And so, you go out and you do your best. You try to learn from every game and move forward.
Well, at the end of the day, I mean, statistically, just based on size of school, we're not supposed to beat those schools.
Right.
Even maybe a loss in some of those games, but we competed. That's a win for us.
Right.
Even though we're trying to win, like you said, every game,
Oh, sure.
Realistically.
Right. Yeah, that's what we always want to look at. If we are playing up to our potential, no matter how we play, because you've been in ball games before when you outmatched somebody, but you played down to their level and you win the game, but you don't feel great about it.
Right.
So I think that's what we'll be assessing over the next few weeks. And hey, we may find another couple starters. We saw some things out of some guys in the Columbia game the other night that we thought, wow, I didn't know you had that in you when the lights came on. So we'll still be shuffling around and figuring out, who plays where and who's best suited to do what job in these next few weeks.
Well, that's absolutely true. You hear coaches talk about it all the time. Well, I'm there every day in practice. I know what that kid can do, and that's very true. But then sometimes, like you say, when the lights flip on, there's another gear.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's nice to find those nuggets as well.
Yeah.
Anything else you need to say or want to clear up? Or
no, just if you get a chance to check out the Wildcat Facebook page, we try to keep folks informed, whether it's about travel or route to the game or whatever. We try to do that and be able to communicate with our folks a little bit better and get the word out about what's going on. So get on there and like it and share it and help support our kids.
Yep. Fantastic. All right. Well, we'll be back in a few minutes. Appreciate you being on with us. Thanks a lot. Good luck this week.
The mission of Greene County Farm Bureau is to provide you with unmatched customer service and attention. If you're looking for home, auto, or life insurance, you should definitely give Jared Lott or Tyler Bray a call to learn more about the full line of insurance and financial services they have available. It's easy to find out if you're getting the type of coverage you need at the best possible rates. Just drop by and see Jared or Tyler at 812 Main Street in Leakesville or give them a call at 601-394-2801.
All right, folks, we're back. That was kind of cool. Having Mike on here talk about that. We would like to, and we talked about this after we went off the air. We'd like to start doing some, analysis on the Promethean board. So maybe that's something we can do in the future. Let us know about something you're interested in. But it's just so cool for me to hear you guys as coaches talk about game strategy and things that you see. And Mike's always entertaining to me to listen to. But having watched a couple of practices and looking at what I saw in the Jamboree, I really do. I feel good about our potential this year.
I think we've got a lot of skilled players with a little bit of experience. Keenan and KJ and BJ and those guys have got a season or two under their belt. So I think it's going to be fine.
I think, too, you got two of your senior leaders happen to be on the offensive line, and I do think there's some room for improvement there. But as the game went on the other night, it looked like we got better in that area.
Right.
Of course, once again, you're playing the defending 4A state champs. They're not bad.
Right.
But there's some schools coming up. Of course, I'm familiar with Perry Central, and Perry Central's got a good-looking squad this year, very big and physical. So even when you play a 3A, you can end up playing a pretty solid physical
Yeah.
team. So
And football is one of those games where a couple playmakers can equalize that size difference.
oh, absolutely.
So
I'm excited. It's going to be fun too.
I am too, and like we talked about last week, they're going to continue to get better.
Right.
Just like volleyball's doing.
Yeah.
Talking about losing in 5 sets.
Right.
Last night. That's even though they lost, they were in that fire,
Right.
which is going to pay off for them long.
Well, it was neat for me to have those 3 young women on with us last week because all of them were, they very much enjoy playing the game, obviously, and very knowledgeable about it. And it's going to be kind of cool to watch that team develop throughout the season because I do think they're right there. And I meant it with what I said to them the other day. I felt like they were getting ready to click, and they're, there's just a few little things that, like we were talking about, learning how to put games away because they played in several really high-scoring games, 23, 25, or sets, matches. I get all that confused. Hats and helmets and all of those things.
And all it takes is to have that success in that moment 1 or 2 times,
Yeah.
and then it's like, okay, I know what I'm supposed to do here.
Right.
I know the mentality I'm supposed to have. So
And I think it'd be cool too to have either Stacy or Danielle back on to talk about the junior high programs because they had a big match over in McLean the other night with all 3 of our schools there, and apparently that program's working very well. So they're going to get some more experienced girls, but it's just cool to see kids be able to. A lot of those kids that play volleyball weren't doing anything. I've got a niece that was not involved in athletics. But now she is because she got an
That's right.
opportunity to
Yeah.
play junior high.
And the way that schedule works is so every Monday night, all the county schools will basically play at one of the other
Right.
junior highs.
Right. They put Richton in there a couple
Yes,
of times
yes.
too, so that's good to have that other school to.
And they've got one tournament here at the high school, I think on September 17th, maybe.
Yeah. So once again, a lot of interesting stuff, and it's just going to get more interesting as the fall develops because before you know it, they'll be playing soccer and different things like that.
Yeah, and I want to talk about, we talked about it off air, but in the works is us signing a contract with the NFHS
Right.
where we can broadcast all sporting events here at home. So that's something we're looking forward to providing for people.
Right, and I've been on that side of trying to do that in the past and had some success and some failures with it because it's very difficult to go to all these different stadiums and get the right internet connectivity. And I think that's the one thing that the NFHS system brings to the table, or Huddle, or any of those guys. So that's exciting, and it should open up a lot of opportunities for basketball and volleyball
Right.
specifically, and even graduation when it comes time to it. We can
That's right.
we
Exactly
can do
right.
class night and graduation as well. So I think that's a good move. You got to get school board approval
School
on
board
that, but I
approval, yeah.
don't think that'll be an issue. So that's one more thing that the high school will be doing that help bring what's going on out here to the masses. So to
And
speak.
we have a lot of parents that work off, a lot of dads and
Sure.
moms that work construction, and you have big games, and they want to be able to watch them, but they're also out providing for their family,
Right.
and this will give them an avenue
Sure.
to do that. So
That was always some of our biggest viewers back when I was doing that on a regular basis was those guys that were either on an oil platform or
right.
working construction out of state. So that's a good thing. Well, I don't really have anything else. Football Spotlight Edition is coming out next week prior to the George County game, so be sure to check that out. I had Volleyball Edition that just came out. So a lot of things going on. We once again, we just love being involved and having the opportunity to help shine a light on these student athletes and the students in school.
Yep.
So, all right, anything else?
That's it. Y'all come out Friday night, and 7:30 the game starts
Right.
at Vancleave. So also, just want to point this out. I've been told that the Vancleave Wade Road is out, so you need to come down Highway 57 to get to Vancleave.
Yeah. And with all the rain that's been going on, I can understand how that would be. So leave a little early because if you've been down 57, it can be a little tricky when there's traffic. So make plans to be there. We'll play at 7:30 throughout the month of September, correct?
That's right. Yeah.
And then in October we'll get in back to the 7:00 games.
Right.
So come out and see the game in Vancleave this Friday night if you can. It's it's that time of year, folks.
Yep.
All right, we'll see you next week. Appreciate you being with us.
If you've suffered an injury and are seeking justice for that injury, you don't have to leave town to find a personal injury lawyer. You need to call Joe Beard with Beard and Stewart's Attorneys at Law. Hometown lawyers helping hometown folks. Give Joe a call at 601-394-5900. And remember, Go, Cats, go.